Welcome to Municipal Affairs. Last month, a delegation from SUMA, the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association, traveled to Sri Lanka to meet with the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government Authorities. Now, this travel was part of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities PMI-WILL project. The visit focused on exchanging knowledge and exchanging perspectives. For SUMA, it was exploring the roles and responsibilities of SUMA's board of directors, to discussing the caucus structure, the member services SUMA provides, and collaborative sessions on member engagement, advocacy, and communication strategies. Now, this isn't SUMA's first trip internationally. Previously, representatives from SUMA traveled to Benin, West Africa, under the same FCM project. And these opportunities continue to highlight the importance of learning from sister federations across the globe. And on today's edition of Municipal Affairs, we'll hear more about that experience, one-on-one, with today's guest. We're going to be joined by Randy Golden, president of SUMA, and Mr. Mahir, secretary of the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government Associations. So stay with us as the conversation starts next.
From the smallest villages to the largest cities, every day your urban municipality supports you. The water that travels from tap to sewer, the emergency services that keep you safe, the parks, libraries, and rinks that you enjoy. Our cities, towns, villages, resort villages, and northern municipalities are urban hubs bringing people together. We are urban. Celebrate your municipality as part of the urban family.
Randy, Mahir, thank you so much for joining us today on Municipal Affairs. I want to start with Randy, if you don't mind. From SUMA's perspective, what was the main purpose of SUMA's visit to Sri Lanka under the PMI-WILL project, and what did you and have you achieved in your time in Sri Lanka?
Well, Chris, thank you for having both of us on. And we're very pleased to talk with you today about our very successful mission we've just completed. This mission is a program of FCMs funded through Global Affairs Canada. And this is SUMA's third program that we're working with through PMI-WILL in the different countries. So we were pleased to come to Sri Lanka. Very warm welcome, wonderful hospitality here. The people are so friendly. And then to work with Mahir and his association, we also got to visit a municipality. And we're here really to look at peer-to-peer conversations and how we can work on things like communication strategies, capacity building that is so necessary for associations. It does not matter if you're in Saskatchewan, in Canada, or in Sri Lanka. And I know that Mahir and his colleagues were very interested in some of the discussions that we had.
So for yourself, Mahir, what does it feel like to have SUMA partner with your organization to talk about the collaborative work that SUMA and your organization can do around these common themes?
In fact, it was a very good meeting for the last 2 days. First time I met SUMA delegation, but very useful for us to get some information, not information, experience. And we shared our thoughts. We gained more experience from the SUMA delegation. A lot of things we got. We can work together, and we shared our experiences, and very useful for us. I can say in 2-3 points, we got it from SUMA delegation, very useful for us. I understood in Canada, it's a SUMA SAS area. The population-wise, you can see some area, the population is less than 100. Some big town area, the population is more than 300,000. But you all are giving the same service to the all people. Whether it's a small town or it's a big town, no problem. But in our area, same things we are experienced, but we are not in a position to give the same service as SUMA giving to these municipalities. In my particular area, there are 51 local small areas. For an example, for the garbage collection, we are in a position to collect garbage from 45 areas. 6 more areas, there are small areas far away from the main city, 6 kilometers away, 7 kilometers away from the main city. But we are not in a position to collect the garbage from that area. So yesterday I got a very good experience from SUMA. They gave some ideas, practical ideas. At least once in a month, we can collect the garbage and we can teach them, that small village people, how to manage your garbage. We can ask them to uh, recycle some items. We can ask them to reduce their waste, like that. Small things. It's a big knowledge for us. In a way, I I selected as a chairman from June. Okay, now in October. So last 4 5 months, I am thinking about how to manage the solid waste management. I got a good idea from SUMA. So I can tell my colleagues, these are the key points. You have to follow these. You can ask them to reduce their waste and recycle some items we can collect. They are a very remote area. They are not in a position to recycle that. So we can collect that. And some more points also we collected. There are two things from SUMA, very useful item. One is group purchasing. When we are purchasing some item for our local authorities, rather than we are buying individually, as a group, we can purchase from one place. We can negotiate them, right? It's a very transparency. There is no place for corruption. So that point is very useful for us when we are purchasing anything for our local authorities. We can purchase as a group purchasing. And the other thing is insurance policy. The cleaning laborers, health laborers. There are a lot of laborers working in the local authorities. We are not thinking about their personal family matters. So it's a very good idea to give a insurance policy for the employees of the local authority. In fact, the 2 days I spent with SUMA is a very useful for me as well as our FSLGA, because it's a big body consisting 341 local authorities. So our director, board, and the management, we are going to tell these points to all the local authorities. Very useful points. In fact, it's a very useful time.
So, on that note, Randy, it seems like even though you are over 3,000 or even a little bit more kilometers away, the issues that municipalities are facing in Saskatchewan are relatively the same in Sri Lanka. You talk about garbage, and I can imagine you have heard about garbage issues in the province of Saskatchewan. So while you're there to help teach, you are also there to learn as well and bring back best practices. From Suma's perspective, what have you learned from the Sri Lankan Federation of Sri Lankan governments?
Well, we always call these exchanges, Chris, and that is exactly, what it is, peer-to-peer exchanges. And it was so interesting. Waste management really wasn't on our agenda, and we just got into it when we started talking about commonalities and challenges. And one of the things that we're taking back is just that we have to think broader. We have to think more globally. And the other thing that we had discussions around is just board policies. board procedures. And we've picked up a few things that we're going to go back and explore because, as you know, SUMA has just gone through our governance and bylaw review, and we're always open to how we can do things better, how we can engage our members better. And we had some really good talks about just that and about how best to do our board business.
For your continuing on with yourself, Randy, for a second, if you don't mind, looking at the common themes and the common challenges that Saskatchewan is going through as a province, when you're speaking to representatives like Mahir, do you get a sense that you are in that quote unquote fraternity of local governments? And even though you may be 1,000 miles, 2,000, 5,000 miles apart, you are connected by the true passion for local democracy.
We certainly are. And both of our organizations just coming through our elections, that was one commonality that we talked about. But it was interesting too, Chris, that our relationship with Sri Lanka goes back to 2007 when we were involved with Sri Lanka after the tsunami. That was again an FCM Global Affairs project that we did. So this goes back a ways. Our involvement and our friendship. But I think what this talks about, and we see that at all of the different events that SUMA hosts where we bring our members in, it's the networking and it's the talking and it's hearing like, what have you done and what can we do and what can we do better? And it just goes to say, and I think Mahir mentioned it, it does not matter if you're a community of under 100 population or the largest city in your territory or province. There's those commonalities and the need to network and find out the best practices.
Mahir, for yourself, when you get a chance to do those exchange of ideas with organizations like SUMA, what exactly do you look for? Because you're relatively new to your position as secretariat as well
That's
of
right.
the organization. So when you're looking at what the future of your organization holds, is there a theme that you're looking for or a commonality or something specific that you're looking for from the peer-to-peer exchange?
Yeah, in a very near future, we are going to have our general meeting. We meeting all the stakeholders of our organization, and we will share the experience we gained from SUMA, and we are going to work together wherever we can join the common things, SUMA and FSLGA. We have a plan to implement some points we gathered from the 2 days meeting into our organization. Very near future, we are going to have our meeting. Our committee already decided. We didn't fix the date. Soon after the meeting yesterday, the executive body, we met together and we decided to have the meeting as soon as possible. And we shared the experience we gained from the 2 days meeting. And we have decided to work together in the common areas.
So, what are those common areas in Sri Lanka around local government issues right now? Because Randy and I have chatted numerous times about the issues that are facing Saskatchewan municipalities, local governments in your country. What do you see as the big challenges and common themes that all local governments are faced with right now, Mahir?
Yeah, in Sri Lanka, there are the central government is there, like federal in Canada. So the provinces is there. So the central government not giving all what we need to serve the people in our area. So we have to generate our own income and we have to pay the salaries of our employees. There are two types. Recently, that is in 2024, the government gave the permanent appointment for some employees, those who are worked for 6, 7 years on a casual basis. In 2024, the government um, permanent, they gave the permanent appointment. That means every month they have to get the salary. Earlier, not like that. Depends on how many days they work. And according to that, they will get the salary. This time, 2024, government gave the permanent employment and there's a permanent salary. But that salary, 100% the local authorities have to give. In addition to that, the next 5 years, every year, 20% of the already there are some employees working in the local authorities. So 20% of that salary we had to pay. That means the local authorities have to pay. After 5 years, 100% we have to pay. So after 5 years, we are independent, not depending on the central government. So these are some common things we are looking because in SUMA is a provincial organization. They are also getting some benefits and grant from the central government. We also stream like that. We are getting some grants and some assistance from the central government. But anyhow, we had to earn money to serve our people. These are the common things. In that, we are facing some challenges. Initially, is a big challenge for us, right? In my, sorry.
Randy, because as I just said, you have known how, you know how to advocate, and it is a very tight rope you have to walk. When you look at working alongside Mahir here, how do you make sure that you give your best practices? Because you have gone through probably the trials and pitfalls of true advocacy. So, what do you see your role in educating Mahir to ensure that strong advocacy is a must?
Thanks for that question, Chris. And we did do some presentations and we brought some toolkits too. But we talk about starting out with a good strategic plan and understanding what your needs are and where you want to go. And then going right into the implementation of that plan. And to put briefing notes together, you need that. You need the engagement of your members so that you know when you're advocating, in our case, to the other orders of government, and then you need to have the briefing notes, the rebuttal notes. We walk through all of those things, and we will continue. I think the coming out of the 2 day meeting, we started the relationship, but this is going to continue. We'll be setting up meetings over Zoom like this with the association so that they can keep working with our employees, our staff in learning, the best practices that we have. But one of the things, and Mahir just talked about it, is the priority and that we have in common is the local government authority. He gave you some examples of some of the things they're dealing with. In our country, some of the things we do we call downloading, and it's the same thing, different words, different language.
So for yourself, Mahir, when you look at the advocacy work that your organization has to do, what is the first step after these meetings and these exchange between yourself and SUMA? Do you ensure that the work that you've learned here, the process that SUMA has, may be able to be sort of transposed into how your organization, the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Governments, truly advocates to your central government?
Yeah, thanks, Randy. She has a very good experience. So she shared some experiences. Soon after that, we have decided to meet our government, the minister, as a organization for the local authorities. We are going to put some request from the central government. In fact, our president also willing to strengthen the local authorities. Sri Lankan president, the newly elected president, newly elected government, they are willing to strengthen the local authority. So we have decided to meet the subject minister as well as if there is any possibilities, we will try to meet the president to put forward our requests. So we are believing they will consider favorably for our local authorities request. We gathered some very good experience from Randy's. Personally, she has more experience than ours, right? We are newly elected, but Randy has more experience. And the team also, very good team, SUMA
Yeah.
team yesterday, day before yesterday, we associated with them. We shared our experiences. gain some knowledge from them. So as you requested, next step, we are going to have our meeting. Soon after the meeting, we will decide and fix a date to meet the subject minister of the central government, as well as if there is any possibilities, we are going to meet the president of Sri Lanka.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that one because if you do
Yeah.
meet him, then you'll have to have you back on the show there, if I hear.
Yeah.
But one of the other areas that I know that SUMA and the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government have been working on, and because it was in a social media post on SUMA earlier this week from when we were recording this, was around member engagement. Now, SUMA is quite well known to engage with all members, whether they be the smallest municipality or to the largest city in the province of Saskatchewan. For yourself, Mahir, I know you're relatively new to the position of secretariat, but I've got to ask, what does member engagement, your member local governments of the Federation look like today? And how do you see yourself strengthening that member engagement in the future?
Uh, because we would like to have all the local authorities work together, then only we can save the people. Our federation is a voice of all the local authorities. But in Sri Lanka, because of some party politics, some local authorities are not willing to work together. I think
Mhm.
not 100% perfect, but I feel there is a party conditions. They are
Mhm.
not coming together to work as a common body. So we are going to overcome that problems also. If different authorities, uh, powers are in a different political parties,
Do you
right?
have
Not
hope,
in one.
Mahir? Mahir, I'm just going to jump in for a second. Do you have hope that you're with this exchange to exchange between SUMA and the Federation that you can overcome those obstacles in 2025, 2026?
Definitely, we have to overcome that problems because the politics is up to the election. Soon after the election, you are a common man. You have to serve for all the people, whether they have supported you or they have rejected you. But you are in a key position as the first person of that local authority. You have to see all the people equally. As I mentioned in earlier, whether it's a small population community or a big population community, you have to serve equally to all. So in Sri Lanka, we are all local authorities serving for all the people. We are not biased whether this particular area is voted for me, so I have to look after them. That particular area people are not voted for me, so I don't like to serve them. No, not that.
Oh,
We are going to serve all the people equally, whether it's a majority people or minority people, whether language or anything, no barriers. So commonly, we noticed yesterday and day before yesterday, we gathered some experience from SUMA. Equality is there, whether it's a small city or big city. So that's a very good experience for us. In Sri Lanka, same type is there. So we are also doing the same thing. So after that meeting, we got more strength to serve people equally. So the partnership between the SUMA and Sri Lanka Federation is very useful
Randy,
for
for
us
your
to.
oh, go ahead, Mahir.
Okay, go ahead. Randy.
I was going to say, Randy, for yourself, it must give you pride when people say that because traditionally, and I say this respectfully to knowing that Saskatchewan is near and dear to my heart, it is often the place that people often forget about. And when you get to go on these international exchanges and talk to people, it must be like wonderful to hear that people want to sort of engage and actually listen to you. And hopefully that will transpose to back here in Canada because Saskatchewan has always hit above its weight. And when you hear the political winds of, oh, the left or the right and the conservatives versus the liberals, truly, Saskatchewan is best when it's the local government and it's helping the people.
yeah. Well, Chris and Mahir, thank you for those wise words because if we could sum up the work we did, I think that is it. We're there to work for everyone. And I really appreciated hearing that because I will take that back. That helps enthuse and inspire all of us when we hear someone that we've just met a few days ago that speaks like that. And in my mind, what Mahir just said is the theme for every elected official in Canada. The When we become elected, we work for everyone in our constituencies, and I really am inspired. Mahir, thank you, and I so appreciate working with you.
So I'm cautious of time here because I know you both want to go eat your breakfast because we're recording this very late for myself, but early for you. But I wanted to just follow up with you, Randy, if you don't mind. From your perspective, from SUMA's perspective, what did you find the most valuable about working alongside the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government Association over the last few days?
Well, I think when we came here, we always come with high expectations about some peer-to-peer conversations. And one of the things we always like to do is to go into a community, go into a municipality. And when we did that, when we come here, we really appreciate everything that we have in our country, and it builds pride. Then we hear words like Mahir's just said. It really builds pride in what we have in our community, and I think Saskatchewan especially. And you said that we really are very strong in many ways, but sometimes we go back to our home communities and we look at only the challenges. And we have to continue to look at what we can do and what we've done, and that's why when I come on these missions, I always go back full of enthusiasm, and I know our team is, and we take this back to my council, to our SUMA board, and to the SUMA team back in Saskatchewan.
Here for yourself from the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government Associations perspective, what did you find most valuable about SUMA's approach to this partnership and the advocacy work that they've brought to Sri Lanka during these last 2 days?
So very good experience for us as a Federation of Sri Lanka local authorities. We are willing to work together, and the last 2 days is very useful for us to strengthen our bilateral relationship, and it's a very good time to develop our leadership qualities, and it gave more strength for us to serve our people more and more. So in future, we would like to work together. In our team, there's a very good people, the leader and the CEO and other staffs. We are very capable to handle this type of matters. We are newly elected body, but to guide us, there's a very good body already is there. So in getting their advice, we would like to work together in future with some international organization, especially with SUMA. We are happy to spend our time last 2 days. Very useful, very cordial, I think.
Now, I do have one final question, and it's the same for both of you, if you don't mind. And I'll start with Mahir on this one. How do the citizens of both Saskatchewan and Sri Lanka benefit from this type of cross-cultural exchange between municipal organizations and municipal leaders?
We can serve more and more to the people. We don't, we can gain experience from SUMA, and we can implement that in Sri Lanka. So we have a lot of ways to save our people. So we are thinking we have to go in this way. But after the meeting, we understood there are so many ways to serve the people. So it's a very useful meeting in on behalf of our federation. I thank SUMA. On behalf of our federation and the people of Sri Lanka, we are saying thank you for SUMA and the Canada people.
Randy?
Well, when I go back to our SUMA board table and to the work that we're going to be doing, I'm really looking forward to engaging them and saying, it's the same no matter where we go. So we need to work together to try to, become more of a useful association to all our members. So when we gather, we can provide the services, the programs they need. And just some of the things that I'm taking back on how to work together, how to do our procedures, and that helps our members build capacity in their communities. And yes, that certainly will quickly filter down to the people that live in our municipalities.
So I know I said that was my last question, but Randy should know by now. If I say last question, I have one more. And this one is directly just for Mahir. Now, exchange of ideas is great, but also exchange of transportation is also even better. Are we expecting to see you up in Regina or Saskatchewan over the next few months? And if so, are you ready for a Canadian winter if you visit during the winter months, Mahir?
Why not? We are willing to work together, willing to travel to any part of the world to gain knowledge, getting experience, and implement in Sri Lanka, the small country. So, yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. We are willing to work together. We are willing to come out there.
Well, Mahir, Randy, I want to thank you both from the bottom of my heart for sitting down during your exchange mission between each Saskatchewan and the Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to do this, and all the best. And if you ever do find yourself out here in Canada, let me know, Mahir, because I'd love to meet you in person when you're out in Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Randy.
Mahir.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Municipal Affairs. Now, we hope you've enjoyed today's conversation and gained some valuable insights into the province of Saskatchewan when it comes to local government. Your support means the world to us. So if you can, share this episode with your friends, your family, and yes, even your community, and help keep the conversation going. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platforms, or if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button there. It helps immensely. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we will be back with a brand new episode of Municipal Affairs shortly. Till then, everyone.